He's walking down the street and it's all paved, all uneven and sloping away with the trees every 20 metres or 100 feet or whatever counts for counting round here, and lining the edges of the street. In fact, the reason for the street being are grand old houses, all 3 stories and black iron gates and golden ratios, and paid for by the sweat and bones of black skins sold and transported via a local port for the benefit of a nice cup of tea and a biscuit, but trying to cut down, thank you very much. And there's a reporter and a cameraman, no big van in sight and no portable satellite dishes, just a cameraman and a reporter with a mic pushing questions into a beard with a bike. He's walking past, all full of the last customers talking of them that swarm and them that ride their bikes on the pavement and them that enforce their beliefs about climate change on others, so that we all do 20 miles an hour in the city and cycleways are growing like vines over the road, them that enforce their beliefs on the world. But I'm not pushing my beliefs, wouldn't do it, it's not me, I'm just a taxpayer, a ratepayer, a part of the silent majority, and we'll see about that referendum, we'll see, I can tell you, as I unironically wag my finger at the world. He's all full of that flavour of man, she's worse, and that reporter is definitely asking about the street parking and how it may have affected the traffic situation, how owners on the houses of this street may have been affected, how people have been forced onto the local park areas to leave their cars so that they can get to work, and he's hoping he's actually forming the words of a response, all byland, you know what, I just don't care. But don't you live around here? And he seemed quite well dressed. Mate, let me level with you. I'm dressed in a suit and I earn a wage, a salary even. Not much, but a living wage, and I can't say it's a bad thing, but I live in a... He's walking, lost in this so much, his mouth is working and his eyes flash and his eyebrows move. He's having an argument with himself. I live in a basement flat and it's damp, and I pay over 40% of my salary into a flat that drips and rots my book collection, and drove a wedge between myself and my ex who suffers from asthma, and all that 40%, over 40% to a landlord who doesn't even live here, not even in this country. He lives in Greece, but he comes back here to collect his mail and to use the NHS and reads The Guardian. That's the state of the left in this country, all sold out, the selfish post-Thatcher twats. He walks around a corner over some tree roots that are currently digging up the tarmac and almost right into a possibly future beautiful, possibly future lady who lunches, 14-year-old girl walking a dog who may or may not like Lessing or be able to hold a conversation about the merit or otherwise of Zizek's take on the symbolism of the iceberg in James Cameron's 1997 waste of a GDP Titanic, and may or may not have noticed the working mouth, the flashing eyes, the moving eyebrows. And every week, every day, every hour, if the fucking radio's on, I have to listen to how jobs will have to go to compensate for tax rises or living wages or, let's face it, reductions in profits, and yet we all put up with it, continue to buy needless shit from these people, continue to blame the unions, continue to blame the poor, continue to blame the homeless or each other, and you're asking me to feel sorry for these fucks? This last sentence can be heard, whispered into the air, but screaming so loud in his mind it breaks the surface of his body. He realises he's almost home and swearing. He's been pounding the pavement, not walking slow and gentlemanlike the way he deeply wants to be. He's got a bit of a sweat on, and he feels righteous as he pounds down the path to his damp basement flat, and he flies into his kitchen to make a coffee and breathes, breathes, breathes. Breathes, breathes, breathes. He pours the water. He brews the pot. He has just a drop of milk and sits down at his desk. He sips the coffee and begins to sort the day's expenses. The shift key doesn't work.